Hello guys, welcome back to our discussion on long division. This is Mr. Hanrahan with you, and today we're going to look at problems that have remainders. So we're going to ask this question here, what is a remainder and what do I do with it? Well, if you recall from last time, we had this problem where we were dividing up $648 and we were going to spread that out amongst 9 people. And we asked the question, how much would each person get? Well, if you recall, it worked out nice and neat. Everybody got $72, there was nothing left over, and the world was a beautiful place. Now, this is a great problem if you're just starting out, but what you're going to find is that things don't always work out so evenly. So we're going to look at here what happens when it doesn't work out so evenly. So let's, instead of $648, let's go ahead and change that dividend up a little bit here, and we're going to make this $653. So before we begin, there's some words that we probably want to discuss really quickly. The dividend, if you recall, is that number inside the box that we're going to be breaking down into smaller groups. The divisor is going to be how many groups we break it down into. And then the quotient is going to be, how much or how many are in each group. Well, this time we're going to add another word here that we need to talk about, and that, of course, is remainder. You can see it's the same color as the dividend on purpose, because the remainder is going to be what's left of the dividend after we break it down into so many groups and find how many are in each group. And if you're looking for a definition for remainder, it is simply a part, number, or quantity that is left over. So let's go ahead and jump in here. How many times does 9 go into 6? It does not. What 9 goes into 65? 7 times. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that down. 7 times 9 is going to give us 63. Subtract 63, or rather 65 minus 63 is going to give us 2. We'll compare that quickly. 2 is less than 9, so we can continue. Next is going to be to bring down that 3. And then we're going to ask, how many times does 9 fit inside 23? That, of course, would be 2. We'll multiply down. 2 times 9 is going to give us 18. And then we're going to subtract, do a little bit of regrouping here, borrow from that 2, make it a 1, bring over 10, and we have 13 minus 8, which is going to give us 5. So we compare, 5 is less than 9, so we're in good shape still. And at this point we would bring down, but there's nothing really left here to bring down, so this is really what a remainder is. It is what is left over after you've divided up into smaller groups and found out how many is in each group. Whatever's left over is your remainder. So question is how do I write it, or what do I do with that remainder? Well, in this discussion here, we're going to look at 2 ways to do that. One is as a whole number remainder, and it's very simple. We're just going to go ahead and put an R, which stands for remainder, and then we're going to bring that 5 up, and our answer is 72 remainder 5. Another way we can do this is to write it as a fraction, and go ahead and put our fraction bar up there. We're going to bring that remainder up, and that is going to become our numerator. And then we're going to take the divisor, which in this case is 9, and that's going to become our denominator. So another way to write this is to say 72 and 5/9. That would be writing it as a fraction. So just to review really quickly, we have two things at this point we can do with remainders. We can just write them simply as a whole number remainder and say 72 remainder 5. Or we can write them as a fraction, and we can say 72 and 5/9. So let's go ahead and kind of apply this back to our original problem. We had $653 that we wanted to divide up 9 ways, and we said that each person would end up getting $72, and there would still be a little bit left over, and there would be $5 here. We can just say R5, or we can look at it as a fraction, and we can say 5/9. Now, just really quickly to explain the fraction and why this works, the 5 represents the amount that is left over. The 9 represents the number we would need, in this case, the number of dollars we would need to go ahead and give each person another dollar, or make it 73. We don't have 9, but we have 5 out of the 9 that we would need. So that's where we get that fraction from. And that's really it. So thanks for tuning in. And next time, hopefully you can join us. We're going to look at kind of how you, if we want to be more precise, there's still yet one more thing we can do with remainders, and that is looking at them and how we break them down into decimals. And really for this problem we looked at in this episode, decimal remainders really would be what we would want to use because we can break the dollars down into cents. So join us next time for a discussion on decimal remainders, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk later.